Hello everyone, Taylor here from Retail Empire. This is the second live about moms and pop stores, and we are going to share some more information in depth. Stay tuned for that. Opening sign, and we're back. Hi everyone, how are you doing? So usually I'm supposed to be broadcasting on Monday, maybe also on Thursdays, but today I'm doing a pre-live. Why am I doing it? Because I've been listening to the audience. I've been hearing a lot of thoughts from you guys about the previous live. So yeah, most of the comments came through WhatsApp and through emails, which I appreciate, but I do encourage you to do so in the chat box during the live or after the live. It's very helpful because I can see everything in one place related to what I've been doing. When I see it on email, I'm not always aware of what this is related to and everything. Now, Retail Empire, the one and only channel where you're gonna hear all the secrets of retail, everything that nobody wants to share with you, nobody will share with you except this channel. We're doing a lot of efforts to share very good information and very usable information. So stay tuned for the next couple of weeks with Moms and Pop Stores insights, how to work with buyers, how to find those buyers, how to find your own category buyer. Everything is going to be served pretty good in here as much as I can. And in the description below, you can find our free SOP. You can go there, click on it, download the SOP. SOP, for those of you who are not familiar with, is standard operation procedure. This is literally a document describing exactly step by step how are we doing when it comes to retail, how we start, how we manage retail buyers, how we get our products eventually to sell in the physical stores. So let's start. Oh, one more thing. There's also a mini Udemy course that I've been launching last year. It wasn't a long time ago, but launched last year because we just started 2025. It was recorded with the one and only Noam Farrar, the guy with the bird. I guess some of you knows him, and with my best friend Aaron Harbage from Canada. Both of them are experts, each and one of them in his own fields. Aaron is a great guy and he's very, very dedicated to what he's doing. He is like my expert for email deliverability, how to craft a great brief, everything that I'm talking about in the last video and today's video. And Norm, well, if you know Norm, there's no really need to introduce him, but Norm is the guy for branding, packaging, and in general also for retail, because his journey in retail, aside from his great journey on Amazon and as an entrepreneur and as a huge influencer in the Amazon community, is also coming with tons of information in the retail industry, which I wasn't aware of when I first met him a couple of years ago. But then we decided that this knowledge had to be brought to the table. So we gathered like, I don't know, tens of years of experience probably into that course. It's a mini course. It's not the full one. The full one is going to be released at the end of January, but make sure that you visit that page of Udemy right in the comments here in the description, of this video. Let's get to business. I spoke about brief and I want to go through this carefully. So when you send a brief, eventually you want to do a call to action, CTA. Okay, call to action means that you want the buyer to open the email, to read some of it at least, and most important, to respond. Now, either a positive or negative respond, either way, it's a good respond. Why? Because once they respond, it means that your email address is flagged as safe on their side, which means you can send them another email, another one. You don't want to be a pain in the neck. You don't want to send them email every 2 hours, every 2 days, not even 2 weeks. If they said something negative, obviously you don't want to approach them until you really have something interesting in your hand. But if they are positive, yes, you can immediately respond to them. Following up, by the way, is something that we do every 5 days, not less than that, because otherwise, again, we're going to be a pain in the neck. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to sound annoying to the buyer. We don't want to be, a pain point during their working day. We want to be something that is easygoing and easy to execute and easy to handle. That's what we want. We want to serve them properly. Now, going back to the brief, subject is where in 2 or 3 words, you're going to define your brand. So if I'm selling toys, toys is really a hard, I would say, not hard, but too general term. When I say too general, I mean that toys is something that even toys buyers are hearing all the time. You want to try and search for something alternative. Now, if I share my screen with you guys and go to ChatGPT and ask him simply, give me a few alternatives to the term toy that can be good to use in an email with a buyer. Okay, let's say just a buyer, not confuse them. Anyway, this ChatGPT is very well trained and knows exactly what I'm looking for. So children product is not so good. Plaything, recreational item, kids entertainment, this is a good one. Educational tool, creative kit, game and gaming product. These are all good options that you can use, but obviously there are more options. You can always expand it and ask GPT to do more than that. Now, on top of the subject, you also want to have a preview, right? Preview means that when the buyer gets that email, they would see beneath, under the subject, they're going to see another small line. And this is a line where people unconsciously looking at. That line is your first CTA. It's the first call to action. Why? Because, again, it's unconsciously being seen and makes people think if they want to open the email or not. So going back to the subject itself, you want to mention the company name, the buyer's company name in the subject. Why you don't want to do it? Because when I work for a company name, California Toys, for example, and California Toys name is mentioned in the subject line, I would be immediately engaged because I would think, oh, this has something to do with me because this is my company, right? So this is increasing the chances that I will open the email and check what is it all about. The second thing that I just mentioned is the preview text. Now, every type of platform that you're sending emails from, and we'll talk about platforms later on, but any platform, even normal, Gmail, does have the option to do like a preview text. The preview text is where you want to ask a question, okay? Now, the question could be many things. You don't want to ask, how are you doing today? You don't want to ask, how was your weekend? But what you do want is to ask a question that you know that the buyer would say, hey, I know the answer for that. This is something very basic in marketing and sales. People tend to think that they know the answer to questions, okay? And you need to use that in order to drive traffic. When I am using my own script for approaching sellers, like people like you who are watching this video, what I'm doing is trying to move you to an action. I'm asking you a question that not only I want to hear the answer, but also I want to drive you to action based on the fact that probably you would think that you know the answer and you would want to step in and say, yes, I know the answer. What is the question? It could be many things. Okay, do you think, is this the ultimate product for your store? Something like that? Yes, it's a good option. Okay, you could think about a lot of different variations of this preview subject area. Okay, before we go to the content, and there's a lot to be spoken about the content, I guess it could be 4 or 5 hours of session, which I'm not going to do. But anyway, there's a lot to talk about the brief itself. But before that, make sure that you are sending the email not from your free Gmail, not from an email with a domain that has nothing to do with the brand. If your brand name is lovelywoodenchair.com, then you want to send, and your name is John, you want to send it from john@lovelywoodenchair.com. Why? Because they are looking at the address who's sending them the email, and the address has to be professional. But, and it's a big but, do not use your real domain. What I mean by that, if your domain is woodenchair.com, you don't want to hurt the domain by sending a lot of emails from that. You're probably going to send 10, 20, 30 emails in the beginning. Moving forward, you might be getting to the hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of emails like we are doing in our business. And that's going to hurt reputation of your domain. And you don't want that to happen. So to avoid that issue, you want to use parallel domain. So instead of Wooden Chair, you're going to use lovelywoodenchair.com, thewoodenchair.com, your wooden chair, whatever it is, a small change, you buy the domain, and you know how it is. Domains these days, they do not really cost a lot. Try not to use dash or dots inside the name of the domain because this is hurting the deliverability, but just simple letters.com. Okay, if you can use .com, it's the best. If you can't, use .agency, .brand, .cc, .co, whatever you can put your hands on. Obviously, .com is the best because it looks the most professional. Now, the brief itself is basically, let's dive into an example. I spoke about the toys. So first you want to say hello, first name. First name would be the buyer name, right? When you got to that point that you're sending the brief, and we'll talk later how to find the buyers, you're going to have the buyer name. If you don't have the buyer name, you're going to say, hi, company name, team. Let's say the company you're approaching is California Toys, like we just said. So, hi, California team, California Chairs team. You don't want to start with, hope you're doing well, how are you doing today? All these things are not relevant in the first email. You don't want to waste time because you have very few seconds to capture their interest. The first thing you want to say is, I'd like to introduce you to. And this is what you're introducing. You're introducing 3, 4, 5 words at the maximum of describing your brand. Okay? I'd like to introduce you to innovative wooden chair brand. That's it. You don't want to start telling them stories about how the company was created, when you were sitting in Bangkok and thinking about names and suddenly this idea came up. You don't want to talk about those personal and private stuff, and this is not relevant. You right now want to quickly make them understand what they're looking at and get their interest. If you're winning, let's say not winning, but if your key points of the brand is the pricing, then you want to talk about the pricing. If it's the branding, the social media presence, stuff like that, that's what you want to spotlight the strong points about your brand. Because keep in mind that buyers are seeing a lot of brands on a daily basis. Obviously, when it comes to big buyers like Walmart, Costco, Target, and so forth, yes, it's like incredibly crazy amount of emails they're getting every day from different brands, but that's not the case. You're talking about moms and pop stores. That's why initially I started this session and establishing this moms and pop store videos academy, but they are still getting a lot of emails like all of us, and you have to be talking right to the point. So to sum it up, you're going to start immediately describing the brand in the email subject. You're not going to send any link in the first email because any link you're going to put there is going to kick you to their spam folder. And in order to prevent that, the only link you can send is either YouTube or Google or Vimeo. Why? Because these three, just like other 10 or 20 different big domains, are supported and trusted by the internet. Those kind of links will not get you into the spam folder. It will not. But then again, your actual website of your products is not there. It's not on YouTube and it's not on Google. So what can you send on YouTube is, in case you have a good video of your product in YouTube, or if you have a good catalog and you can drop it on Google folder, and then send that link. Make sure it's a visible link that anyone with the link can see, and then you can drop that link inside. Now, do not make a hyperlink. If you do a hyperlink, again, you have some kind of coding involved in the email. And coding means that a lot of chances that your email is again going to fall in the spam folder. So preventing that is better, and you do that by simply clicking the link, using the link itself. The only thing you can do is go to platforms like Bitly and make a shortened link. That would still be a YouTube link, it would still be a Google link, well, it would just be shorter. And you can use that because it looks better in the email. So as I mentioned, I'd like to introduce you to our brand, innovative wooden chair based in, don't say whatever. When you say based in, you want to say where your inventory is. So if your company is Australian, Nigerian, whatever, New Zealand, Europe, it doesn't matter. What they want to know is where the products are at. So you're going to say based in LA if your warehouse is in LA. Okay, you can even skip that part based where, because they might ask it later on. But if you decide to do so, keep in mind the point that I just mentioned. And we would love to share with you more about the brand and send you samples to review. Let me know if you have any availability to go over our catalog and I will send it, something like that. Now, if you sent the catalog already, don't do that line. But eventually, the preview, remember we mentioned earlier, is what you're gonna use to make them act. And the last line, thinking about it, the last line should include samples and pricing, saying, I would love to share with you the pricing, wholesale pricing, and send you our e-catalog to review. Okay, that's it. You send the email. Now, there's a lot of rules about how to follow up, when to follow up, exactly what to do. We're going to talk about it in next sessions. But today, what I wanted to make sure is that you know what type of brief you're supposed to prepare from your side. Just prepare that brief. That's all you need for now. I know I'm taking you step by step. It might be a little bit annoying to wait for the next video. I'm sorry if it's like that. If you're watching it in live, of course, it's going to take a couple of days. If you are watching it after the videos are already uploaded, then it's easier for you because you can jump immediately to the next video and see exactly what to do next and everything. But again, if you're watching it live, just be patient with me and trust me that I'm leading you to a success path. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I know exactly what people want to see in terms of the buyer side. Okay, and I know exactly what they do not want to see. Moving forward, I appreciate you watching this video. Please comment, like, anything that you can to make this a little bit more viral. Help me with spreading the word about this YouTube channel to your friends, family, whomever you think is relevant for them. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. And next time, either tomorrow or next week, I don't know yet, because it's just the beginning of the year and there's a lot of things in the pipeline. But next video, I'm gonna wrap up the brief issue in terms of when to send the follow-up, how many follow-ups to send, some statistics that I will bring to the table, and then we jump right into the next step. I'm not sure if the next step will be, the next step is gonna be talking about your website before you do the step, because the website is one of the most crucial points about your brand, because that's your business card. That's what they see when they get the email, they go to the link or find your link through your email, and they want to see what this brand is all about. And one last tip, don't forget, you are not an Amazon seller, you are a business owner. And for that reason, you do not really want to share any Amazon link. Yes, Amazon links are trustable, but if you share those type of links, at least in the beginning, that's going to position you in their view as an Amazon seller, and they treat Amazon seller as kind of a seller that probably do not understand and do not know the retail process. And this is not something that you want, right? All right, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, smash the like button, and remember there's a lot of tons of information in the SOP right here in the comment under this video, and there's also a very small money course that I did with Norm Farrar and Aaron Harbage. Appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day.